Hello, my name is Laura Singer.
My name is Ira Singer. Miranda Singer is my daughter.
Ever since Miranda was a little girl, she was known with the girl with the gorgeous red curly hair. And it was part of her personality. It was part of the energy that she brought into every room that she entered. She would even get stopped on the street and women would say, "Can I take a cutting of that beautiful red hair to bring to my hairdresser?" And actually our aunt took a cutting and had her hair dyed the same color as Miranda's. And so Miranda went through life as a beautiful redhead until about college time, when we all started to notice the separation in the part of her hair at the top of her head right here. It just started to spread. And we didn't really think a lot of it. We went to a lot of different hairdressers and got hair care products and different things that we thought might be helpful, but nothing really worked. And so one day Miranda called and said, "Mom, can I get extensions?" And I wasn't a real big fan of using artificial products to create your beauty, so it was a hard decision for me, but I said yes. And she burst into tears and said, "Thank you so much." So she went and got extensions, and her thin hair became really beautiful, and she felt really good about herself. And then more hair loss came, and the extensions started to come out, and then she would go back and they would put them in again and they would continue to come out. And so we knew that it was a time where that was not the solution. So we also noticed, and Miranda shared with me, that when she was on Zoom for some of her college classes, she would bend her head down to take notes on a piece of paper, and she would notice that there was a bald spot in the camera. Or the wind would blow and we would notice that Miranda's hair was falling out. So I immediately reached out to one of the clergies at our synagogue who advised me about looking into alopecia, and Miranda bravely went to different dermatologists, and emotionally it was really challenging for Miranda and for me as her mother. She and I are very connected and very close, and as a mom, I'm sure you know the connection you have with your children. When they hurt, you hurt. And she was hurt, so ultimately I was hurt. So we supported her, my husband and I, and took her to a place to get a wig. And that was where her journey with alopecia began. And that's where we saw the bravery of our daughter and the way that she could take something that was really challenging in her life and turn it into something beautiful. And it's part of her journey. And we always told her that this is part of your journey, and we know that something wonderful will come of it.
For me, as the dad, there to provide, financial, emotional support to Laura and to the children, hair wasn't anything that I really understood to be of importance. Just the way I look, and I didn't really understand the depth of the hair, and although I certainly knew the beauty of the redhead and how much I love that part of Miranda, I didn't necessarily understand the loss piece as it was falling out and the emotional piece of it. And so as it became more of a daily phone call check-in to how she was doing emotionally and the steps we were taking and the information we were learning, clearly it was something that was going to be a major impact on Miranda. And at that point, the family huddled and we made decisions together. She was getting very good information. She was making headway towards ultimately her own decision to shave her head, to get a wig, and what that meant for us as parents. Not only the financial piece is one piece of it, but really the emotional piece and Miranda's bravery. I've always been the dad who looks to put the kids into more challenging situations, because when there are challenges, that's where your true grit shows, and that's where you get to learn more about yourself and how you respond to challenging situations. And watching Miranda navigate this and take control of her situation, to decide to shave her head, to announce to the world through her social media and her friend groups and our family that this is what she was doing, was extremely impressive, and one of the proudest moments that I have as a dad. So what I was noticing as Miranda was calling us regarding the extensions, and then a second round of extensions, and it wasn't working. We were trending towards looking at a wig. It was very much private. It was within our family, with Miranda and her brothers, with Laura and I. And as the decision was made to look at a wig, sit in with the wig specialist and go to her shop and have her outfitted, all of a sudden Miranda transformed, stepped into the reality of this is what it's going to be. Difficult as it was, because the hair, although a good match on color, wasn't her hair. And when she stepped in fully to wearing the wig and making decisions about how she was going to tell her world, it became like a relief on her shoulders. And she's the best version of herself because of the bravery and the leadership that she's displayed. And there's a whole community out there. She's heard from people because she discovered Wigs for Kids and she decided to raise money on that account. She discovered a whole community that she had no idea about, and that's also given her confidence, and it's given her a purpose and a mission. And so it's been really amazing to see, and what's taken place for Miranda has been life-changing.
I remember when Miranda called us and said, I think I'm going to shave my head. And we thought, okay, if that makes you feel more comfortable. And so in the spirit of community and the fun that Miranda brings to everything she does in life, she had a head shaving party. So Ira and I and our sons and a bunch of her friends all gathered in her apartment. And we're not going to say it was all happy and joyful. There were tears and there were emotions for sure. But we each took a turn with the razor, shaving her head and cheering her on. And we laughed because you don't know what your head looks like underneath all that hair. And when she was done, one of her friends is like, your head is so cute. So she brought her community to support her. And following that, she always looks for a fun party. She invited, I think, 50 or 60 friends over and had a wear a wig party. So everybody showed up in fun, colorful, festive wigs to celebrate Miranda's bravery. And Miranda showed up bald. And it was a really big step to be in front of her friends' community, her sorority sisters, her neighbors in her apartment, her friends from freshman year, whatever it might be, to see her without her hair. And so that was a fun way for Miranda to come out to the small community that she was a part of and then to post all of that on social media. And as Ira mentioned, our nuclear family of 5 was very, very supportive of Miranda. Our extended family, our religious community, everybody would say to me, your daughter is so brave and so beautiful. And so I think that the support of others and hearing about that you look beautiful without your hair was really important. How strong you are is wonderful, but when the doors close and you're in your room and the tears flow, I always encouraged, and Ira and I both say this, that every emotion should be felt and that it's hard. It's definitely hard, but with people around you to give you love and support and tell you the expression beauty comes from within really comes true, because Miranda's light and her love of life and her spirit is still the same, and she just shows up that way in everything she does. So this is our beautiful daughter Miranda, who we've been talking about, and we're thrilled that we're here together with her.
We are a close family, and supporting Miranda through this process has been really important. It's taught her that when she puts herself out there, the world responds in a positive way. That was for sure exampled when she decided to donate and fundraise for Wigs for Kids. At the point that she received her new wig, she announced that she was going to shave her head, and she put a time frame together, and she announced on her social media into the world that is our greater world that was going to happen. And within a 6-week period had raised over $8,000 for Wigs for Kids. We heard from the founder, Jeffrey, who wanted to know more about Miranda, which provided emotional security for Miranda that what she was doing was making a difference, even though she didn't know the people who she was raising money for or the beneficiaries of who was going to receive those dollars. It was clear that Miranda was focused, and when she put out there that she was raising money, her world responded positively. To that end, as we sit here with Jeffrey and learn more about Wigs for Kids and the important work that they're doing, Laura and I would like to make a contribution of $1,000 to support the organization.
Thanks. And I think the other way that Miranda encouraged support is for those of us who could donate our hair. And so I donated mine, and some of her friends donated theirs. So whether you have a child with hair loss or you're experiencing hair loss, whatever the cause might be, financial donations are amazing. Hair donations, any way you can give back to touch the life of somebody who is dealing with something that's challenging, and it just uplifts their spirit when you see the beautiful hair that they can gain back in their lives.
I must say that Miranda in her work life will often go without her wig, and she will show up authentically as herself, and I think that is what the wig has given her, is it's given her the confidence to be her true self without her wig and show up. And it's remarkable to have that inner confidence to be able to do that.